welcome to Lizama's Stitches. My name is Amaka. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you'll be notified. In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to make a high-low skirt. My fabric is folded into two. Now this is it. It's folded into two. I'm going to fold it again on bias. That is into 4. Now I'm going to fold it again. I folded it again. I'm going to cut my skirt. Now I'm going to cut this with half circle. This is going to be a half circle. The waist circumference I'm working with is 22 inches. Plus 2 inches zipper allowance gives you 24 inches. Now 24 inches plus 6 inches for pleats, because I'm going to pleat my skirt, gives you 30 inches. Now for me to find my waist radius, I'm going to divide 30 inches by 3.14. Now 3.14 is the formula for half circle. 30 divided by 3.14 gives you 9.5. So the waist radius is 9.5 inches. Now the length of the skirt is 18 inches plus 1 inch for seam allowance, which I'm going to use half inch to hem the lower part and half inch to attach the skirt to the band. That is 1 inch. So 18 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance gives you 19 inches. So the length is 19 inches. The actual length is 18 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance gives you 19 inches. Now I'm going to cut. This is the half circle. I have a detailed tutorial on how to cut your high-low with half circle and full circle. That is 360-degree circle and 180-degree circle. That tutorial is a detailed tutorial on how to make a high-low ball dress for a 4-year-old girl. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below so that you can check it out later. So let's get started. Now from here, from this point, I'm going to mark from here. Now if you can see that this place is closed, then this place is open. So from this point, I'm going to mark 9.5 inches, which is the waist radius. So this is 9.5. Now from this point, I'm going to mark the length of the skirt. The length of the skirt is 18 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance, which I'm going to use half inch to hem here and half inch to join the band to the skirt. So I'm going to mark 19 inches. Now from this point, I'm going to mark half inch seam allowance. So I'm going to cut it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to notch. Now I'm going to notch here. And I'll notch here. I'm going to notch here. I'll also notch the waist. I'll notch here. And I'll notch here. So after that, I'm going to open it. Now when I open it, this is what I have. Now this is the middle. This is the center. So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this part as the front panel because this part is closed. while this part is open. Because it's half circle, this part is open, so I'm going to use this part as the back panel. Now this opening here is going to serve as a zipper allowance. So here, from here I'm going to cut this point, and I'll connect it to this point for me to be able to achieve my high low. I'm going to cut this point and I'll connect it to this point, to this midpoint. So this is how I'm going to do it. From here, from this point, I'm going to mark 8 inches. I'm going to mark 8 inches. Now this is my 8 inches. And I'll connect this point to this point. Just like this. So I've connected it. Now I'm going to cut it. So after cutting, this is what I'll have. Now I'm going to open it up. You see? So this is it. This is it. This is going to be, now this is the zipper allowance. This is the front panel and this is the back. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to take this to my sewing machine and I will pleat it. I'm going to pleat with gather stitches. I'm going to pleat it with gather stitches. Now after pleating with gather stitches, I'm going to join here. I'm going to sew this place together and attach the zipper. After that, I'm going to attach the band. I have my band here already. I've ironed interfacing on the wrong side of my band. Now I'm going to place my band on my skirt, right side facing right side. Now on this edge, this point, I'm going to leave ½ inch. I'm going to leave ½ inch seam allowance, which I'm going to use to turn this part. Then I'll sew here with ½ inch. I'm going to attach the band to the skirt with ½ inch seam allowance. With ½ inch seam allowance. I've ironed here already. What I have here on this band, what I have here that I ironed is ½ inch. I'm going to show you how I'm going to turn it. I'll do it and show you. Now this is the skirt. I've attached the zipper. I've attached the zipper. I've sewn here. I've sewn here now. Now the band, this is the band. This is the band. I told you I was going to leave ½ inch on this side. Now, the ½ inch, now this is what I did. I've attached the band to the skirt, and I told you I was going to leave ½ inch on this part. Now let me show you how I'm going to close up this ½ inch. Now this is my band. This is the wrong side of my band, and this is the right side of my band. I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'll sew here. Now let me illustrate with pin. I'm going to sew here. So after sewing here, I'll turn it this way. Now you see, when I turn it, this is what I'll have. You see? Hope you're seeing what I'm doing. This is what I'll have. You see? Now, after that, I'm going to take this to my sewing machine. Now you see that I still have ½ inch seam allowance here, which I have ironed. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to fold this way. I'll fold this way. I'll push in the seam and I'll use the band to cover the seam. and I'm going to sew. Now I'm going to turn it to the right side. I'm going to sew from the right side. I'm going to be sewing from the right side. Now this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to sew in between the band and the skirt. I'm not going to sew on top of the band, and I'm not going to sew on top of the skirt. I'm going to sew in between the band and the skirt. I'll sew it in such a way that you're not going to see the thread. You're not going to see the thread. Now as I'm sewing it will also be catching this part. As I'm sewing from here, it will also be sewing here. It will also sew here. So I'm going to do it and show you. So this is the skirt. Now look at the back. The same way I folded this part, that's the same way I folded here. So this is it. This is it. This is my skirt. I've hemmed the lower part, and I've attached the zipper. So this is it. So this is the skirt. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Lizama Stitches. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.